I wanna go. I wanna go. Call me the
What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? I hope that's not too loud with this mic. I gotta make sure the lips are secured, baby. Hey, you guys, and welcome back to another episode with your favorite girl. Okay, how are you doing today? How are you feeling? I know you're feeling great and amazing because why wouldn't you? Okay, and let's get right into it. So today we'll be talking about the difference between a fixed mindset and the growth mindset, and the differences between the two, and why having a growth mindset is more likely to set you up to be successful, okay? And if being successful is your goal here, you're in the right place. If growth is your goal here, you're in the right place, okay? If being the person you have envisioned yourself being in the future, if that is your goal, you are in the right place. If being the better version of yourself every single day that you wake up, being consistent, being disciplined, being more generous, being more nice, having more to give, being more abundant, if that is your goal, you are in the right place. So stay tuned. But before we get into the video, you already know we have to say our affirmations, okay? And today's affirmation will be, I grow towards my interests like a plant reaching for the sun. Once again, I grow towards my interests like a plant reaching towards the sun. And I had to emphasize my, because a lot of times y'all be reaching towards somebody else's interest. And that be the problem that I be having with y'all. Okay, what's that post? It said, y'all Jada one week, Ari the next week, India one week, Mariah that, never yourself. You've never mentioned you being you, girl. What's wrong with you being just yourself? What's wrong with you just being you? Huh? Same thing for the dudes. One day you Meek Mill, one day you Dirk, one day you Lil Baby. What's wrong with just being you? What's wrong with that? Anyway, so that's not even the topic of today. Go ahead and get off course already. Let's first get into the definition of a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. And I'm going to first touch on a fixed mindset. So a fixed mindset is basically believing that you can't do certain things, that your life is pre-planned for you, that you can't grow, you can't flourish into, what you envision yourself being, that the cards that you are dealt in life, you have to simply keep those cards. And as a poker player, I'm here to tell you, you can always ask the dealer for new cards. Plain and simple, even if you're just swapping them out one at a time, okay? Compound interest does way more than trying to achieve big goals and big steps every 3 months, okay? Consistency, discipline, compound interest is always going to get you way ahead than a person who just shows up every 6 months whenever they feel like it, okay? So yeah, let's get right back into the definition. It's basically just believing that your qualities, your personal qualities, your innate abilities, whatever you don't have, you will never have, and whatever you do have, you're stuck with. That's basically a fixed mindset, and just really believing and thinking that this is all I have, this is all it will ever be, and so I have to deal with this, and I have to adapt and stay in this environment. Simple. A growth mindset is the complete opposite. Believing that you can do it, believing that everything that you have right now you can use to work towards your success, believing that intelligence and skills are something that is developed. It's not something that is given to you. Even if you weren't naturally born with certain abilities or skills, or having the upper hand in certain areas. Maybe you were born in poverty, maybe you were born in an environment that wasn't healthy and good for you and had very toxic and bad behaviors. It's just having the mindset of, okay, but I do not have to be this person. I do not have to stick to what my environment has thrown me into, what life has thrown me into. I can always change, become better, do better, be better. And just simple as that. No matter how long it takes, no matter what it takes, I know that I have the ability to believe in myself. Okay, having a fixed mindset is really just not believing in yourself, while having a growth mindset is simply believing that you can do whatever you put your mind to. And please remember, one of the reasons why humans became such this commodity is because they understood that humans are so powerful. You are so powerful that you can simply do whatever you put your mind to, which is why they don't want you putting your mind to anything worth doing, because then it will be harder to control you. So remember that. Do not have this fixed mindset of I can't and I cannot. Have the mindset of I will and I am. End of discussion. Okay, so I'm going to point out some signs that you have a fixed mindset. You avoid challenges. Okay, you like to be comfortable. Whatever you already know, you know how to do, you cool with that. Anything that you don't know how to do, you don't even want to touch on that territory. You know what I mean? Anything that you've never seen somebody do around you, a friend or family member become successful in, or even if you saw somebody trying to do something and they failed at it, you allow that to hinder you from your growth. You allow that to hinder you from who you truly are and what you want to do. You allow somebody else's bad experiences and the challenge that they have went through to cause you to stay stagnant and not endure challenges yourself, not realizing and knowing that everybody has their own experiences and their challenges has nothing to do with you. Plain and simple. You simply just avoid challenges. Number 2, which will be correlating to avoiding challenges, you have fear of failure, which I understand a lot of us do. A lot of us have fear of failure. If you even ask some people what is one of their biggest fears, they would say simply to be unsuccessful, simply to fail. But I'm first here to tell you that being successful is being able to do whatever you want to do in your life, no matter what you do or don't have. That is the epitome of being successful. Okay, that no matter what you are thrown into, you can make it your way. You can always shift and change things and shift and change environments to work for you. That's what success is all about. I understand that people correlate success to cars, shoes, houses, and money a lot of times, but that is a westernized way of thinking that is what success is. Plain and simple. Okay, and I'm not even going to get into that, but that's literally what that is. So you having this fear of failure, first of all, being fearful is an evil feeling. Okay, it comes from an evil place of feeling like you can't do something, and so you hold yourself back by thinking, well, if I do it and I fail, I'm going to break. And there's no such thing as failure. There's only such thing as learning. Okay, you can never fail if you continue to learn, if you continue to learn from your mistakes, if you continue to reflect on where you have went wrong and you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to take that path again. I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to take things and do it a different route. I'm going to go back to the drawing board and I'm going to now take what I have learned and allow it to help me reach whatever goal that I am trying to get to. Now that I have learned this thing, I know not to do that thing, or I know that this is how it might turn out. So let me shift it and shape it into where it can work for me. Okay, so having this fearful way of thinking that, well, if I do this thing, I might fail is an evil way of thinking and a way to set yourself up for failure. And don't get me wrong, I was a person who had fear of failure as well. And I probably still low-key do subconsciously. A lot of times these feelings are from our subconscious. I even talk about sometimes that you may think that you're ready to do this certain thing. And then when you start doing this certain thing, you realize that it's much more harder than you've actually pictured it being. And so sometimes that can psych you out because you're like, damn, I wasn't expecting all of this. But understand that when you do, take on new challenges, it is going to be a challenge. And so you can't predict what is going to come up in the situations and the problems that you're going to have. And you can't think of every single thing in your head. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes having that fear of failure, we try to sit there and look at every single possibility that can go wrong. And then you do that. And then you get in the challenge and you're like, oh, I thought of 100 and I missed 101. You know what I mean? Life has a way of testing us, especially if you want something that bad. And having fear of failure, like I said, it automatically sets you up to fail because you're in your head so much, conjuring up all this fear, all this anxiety around this thing that you are trying to accomplish. And you kind of already set yourself up to make certain moves to fail. But at the end of the day, when you are conquering new challenges, the only thing that you need to be prepared to do is fight. Fight for whatever it is that you want. That's the only thing that you should be prepared and looking out for. Looking out for new challenges, looking out for new ways of thinking, and looking out for things that are going trying to hinder your growth. That should be the only thing you should be expecting. You should never be expecting going into new challenges that is going to be peaches and cream and that there's not going to be any quote unquote failure involved. Period. It's simply giving up too easy. Just giving up so easily to where you're like, you know what, this ain't for me. I'm not good at this. I don't even know why I tried. When, like I said, this is something new for you. This is a challenge for you. What is a challenge? Let's look up the definition of a challenge. Because I feel like a lot of times people use words with intent versus the actual definition of the goddamn word. So, something that needs great mental or physical effort in order to be done successfully and therefore tests a person's ability. So if you are the person that when you are going through a challenge and you could think to yourself, oh, after that first round and I lost, I'm out of here. Like if you're playing chess and you lost your first round in chess and this is something that you've always wanted to learn, you're like, you know what? This ain't for me. It takes too much mental effort. I have a headache. I can't do this. I need to, whoa. Like I said, this is a challenge. It's something new for you. And challenges are meant to test you because we want to see, when I say we, I mean the universe, God wants to see how bad you want this. God wants to see, do you really want this thing? Okay, and he needs to teach you different things in the midst of these challenges so that when you get to your goal of what it is that you're trying to get to, you know how to manage and maintain. That is the whole point of learning and going through failures as you're trying to accomplish your goals. It's so that when you get to this thing, you know how to manage and maintain and upkeep whatever this thing is. Because please understand, I understand that sometimes you might look at people's lives, the glitz and glams, and might think to ourselves, oh, well, that is so easy. Their life is so much easier and it's such a breeze. And it's, whatever that someone else had that you want, you might think that if you have this thing that your life will be much easier, which is crazy because at the end of the day, life is just as hard for everyone, in many different ways, shapes, or forms. A billionaire has different problems from a millionaire have different problems from a thousandaire, and so on and so on. Plain and simple. You're going to have challenges no matter what you do or don't have in your life and no matter what stages you are at your life. So I say that to say that when you are even trying to get to your goals and you have these different challenges, okay, allow yourself to learn from your failures, quote unquote, from your challenges, so that when you get to where you want to be, as I said, you know how to maintain and upkeep this thing and have the mental capacity to continue on with this goal or this thing that you have now accomplished. Okay, for example, it's like when you're going to the gym and you're trying to get this body, even when you get to your goal of whatever you want your body to look like, maybe it's losing weight, maybe it's gaining muscle, maybe you want a certain shape, whatever it may be, you have to continue to stay in the gym. Okay, so one of the challenges for you might be consistency, might be discipline. And so going through this challenge and, understanding this thing and continuously keep going and building that consistency and that discipline will not only teach you to be consistent and disciplined in the gym, especially when you get to your goal, because you have to continue to be consistent and disciplined. It's not going to be a one overnight success. It's going to also teach you to be disciplined and consistent in other areas in your life. Simple. Okay. And last but not least, because we have been going on for a minute, it has been 18 minutes in this video, and at this point I'm going off. But fixed mindset language, as I said earlier, saying I cannot, I can't, I will not, this will never work for me. Just having this mindset of like, nothing ever works in your favor. And honestly, I feel people like that just want this pity party for themselves. Like, okay, if you feel like you can't do it, then why would I believe in you? You know what I mean? Like, if you feel like you can't do something, well, I'm not going to tell you can. After you keep saying you can, I'm going to say, I throw in the towel. Well, I'm done trying to, help this person, build this person, motivate this person, inspire this person. They already think that they can't do it. So whatever my beliefs and me believing in you is not going to help you believe in yourself. A lot of times it doesn't work. I know sometimes in movies it may look like that, but in real life situations, like, it just doesn't work like that. You have to believe in yourself first and foremost, believe that you can do something in order for others to believe in you, in order for others to have a bandwagon behind you. And you have to also have this mindset of not really caring what people are going to think about you and just living in your true, authentic self and believing that you can do whatever it is that you want to do, no matter how absurd it may seem to the next person. Okay? People don't believe in you until they see progress. People don't believe in you until they see results. So give it to them. You want people to believe in you? Give them what they're looking for. They're looking for results, give them that. They're looking for consistency, give them that. They're looking for discipline, give them that. But you have to first tell yourself, I am and I will. Not even I will, I am. You have to tell yourself, I am. I am good at this thing. I am powerful. I am successful. I am loved. I am blessed. I am abundant. I am whatever it is. Okay? Because it all starts with the mind first. If you do not believe in whatever it is that you are doing, how can the universe know what to place in your path? Or how can God know what to put in your path in order for you to continue this thing and be successful? They're going to look at you and go, well, you don't even believe in yourself. If I give you this, you're going to have this mindset going into this thing that you don't believe in yourself, and you're going to fumble this thing. Why would I give you this? Why would we waste this thing on you right now? Well, you don't even believe that you can do it. It wouldn't even make any sense. Okay? And you know what? I'm not even going to get into a growth mindset, because a growth mindset is pretty much just the opposite of everything that I just explained. Believing that you can do it, facing challenges head on, tunnel vision, first thing, being open to feedback, criticism, being open to setbacks, okay? Understanding that setbacks is something that is extremely natural, and it is a given, and it doesn't mean that you cannot do something. It means that you are more closer to what you're trying to get, more than you can even imagine. When you are trying to do something new and you have setbacks, failures, things are moving slow, but they're moving consistently. Okay, that means that you are one step closer today than you were yesterday. And what did I say? Compound interest gives better results. Moving one day at a time. That's why if you want to be 365% better than you were last year, you just have to be 1% better every single day, no matter what that is. Reading a book, going for a walk, going to the gym, maybe meditating, maybe having that conversation with your mother or your father, maybe listening to positive podcasts every day, maybe cutting off people who don't, deserve your time and energy, one day at a time. You don't got to do it. You don't have to do it all at once right here, right now. One day at a time, paying off your credit card bills, one day at a time, paying off that student loan debt, one day at a time, saving up for that car, one day at a time, saving up for that apartment, one day at a time. Okay. And I know that we get into this mindset and this mind frame that, quick success and, what's that word I'm looking for? Instant success is something that we should be striving and reaching for. But even people that you think that have made it overnight, they haven't. They took years of planning and working and dedication and consistency. You just saw it overnight. Okay? That ain't got nothing to do with them, because they've been working their ass off for the past decade, and you didn't see that. You've seen it overnight, And I think that can sometimes even be the disadvantage of, just being on social media and thinking that someone has gained 1 million followers if you want to be an influencer overnight, or someone has started making 6 figures in their business overnight when it really took them 10 years, and you're now noticing them, you're now realizing them. That be the issue sometimes with social media, and sometimes people being fugazi and not really telling the full story of their journey. Okay, so don't always fall for everything. Understand that having a growth mindset is way more prevalent and sets you up for success than having a fixed mindset, and that compound interest gives you the results that you need, not that you want. I love you guys. I see you next time. Mwah. Be safe.